Okay, we should be back as we had a few troubles with the stream, but should be all good to go now as, well, from where we last left off you can see some updates in the standings as Paul Hill has jumped up to third with a 27.4 and Adam here and Ditto both on softs at the moment. We'll stand up with Adam here as through the first sector he's 8 tenths down actually, so we won't do that. As Cody Reed jumps up to 4 with a 27.6. So Alfa Romeo doing quite well near the top as Hajrusi here, having already done one lap with a 27.2. He is coming around the final few corners now and was 10th up, so this could be another improvement for the Red Bull as he gets a 26.9. Which makes him 4 tenths quicker than anyone else so far. As we have a few cars in the final sector, I think that's going to be George Norton here, so we'll see how he does compared to his previous lap. As round to the line, it's a 27.8, which puts him up to 8th for now, so good luck for the McLaren. As Antonopoulos also improves just behind him. So Dino here actually getting a tow from Adam, as he was already 6 tenths up. So as Dino's coming round to the line here, we'll see if this is going to be enough for provisional pole after swapping to the soft tyres, as Adam Showstack and David Player have both just retired, I believe. So both Ferraris and Aston's are 8, as Dino just misses out by a 10th there. But still a very good lap by the Mercedes to get 27 flat. As we have both the Williams in the final sector just starting their laps, as we also have a Red Bull in the final sector, but that's just Hajrusi who's finishing off, and Alfie Harvey preparing to start his lap. So we'll go on board with Cifuentes here, who was about a 10.5 up at the first sector split. Going to the second sector, he is literally even with his times, so that's something you don't see every day, as it was just a plus/minus symbol, which means he's even. Into the final sector then, we'll see if he can get a good run through these final few corners and gain a bit of time, as keeps him within track limits and gets a nice run through there, to be fair. And that's going to be an extra 2 tenths saved and puts him up to 9th for there. So I think he's going to be happy with that, as Ryan Chapman here is 5.5 tenths up. And it's coming through the final sector now, so let's see what he can do, as this would be a good lap if he can improve. So, at the final corner here, up to the line, it's going to be a 27 flat as well, so just misses out on getting ahead of Dino, but that's going to be third for him, and I think he'll be quite happy with that lap. As next to the line is Adam Matusiak in the Williams, alongside Sorensen and Jordan Kent, who is his teammate for today. So we'll see with these three guys how they do, as Matusiak round to the line does a 27.4. Next up Sorensen, who does not improve, so I think he may have invalidated. And Jordan Kent, who goes up to 9th with a 27.6. So that's going to put both Williams into the top 10 for now, so I think they'll be quite happy with that, as Cifuentes comes to the pits. And then we have a few cars just preparing to start their lap, as Alfie Harvey here has invalidated, so he'll probably be going to the pits to get a fresh set of tyres for his final run. So I'm trying to locate someone actually on a run here. Ryan's just going to box this lap, same with Elliott. Alongside the Williams drivers, but there might be an Alpine. Is that Greg on a lap? No, he's on an out lap. So it's going to be all the way back in sector 1, and it's going to be Paul Hill here. So On board with the Alfa Romeo, we'll get a good run around the lap with him as across the sector 1 split line. He's actually slightly down on his time, but it's only the first sector. So, free wood cut now, and up towards Cops. I think he's probably going to try take this as close to flat out as he can. And if he can take it flat out, he will do, as there's a slight lift, but not much. So he's trying to push as much as he can here to try and save a better time, as if he can improve just a bit, he'll go ahead of Owen currently. As across the second sector split line, he's actually still almost 2.5 tenths down, so we'll swap to Adam, who is a better 10th up here. Currently on course to be around 11th, and with 4 of the cars behind him not being left in the session, I'd argue that he may, unless he's going to be confident that he can improve by a lot, he might as well not do another run as George Norton. He's not on a lap. It was not Mashinsky over, as we'll go on board with our current pole sitter. He's the only driver in the 26s, but I think that'll change before the end of the session, certainly. As through Maggots and Beckett's, and he's 6 thousandths down at the moment, so still very close to his personal best of the session. So we'll see in the final sector here as takes Stowe nicely and into the final few corners. Just trying to use as much of the space as he's got on track, and a decent run, but it's going to just about improve him by 12 thousandths to a better 26 line. So a strong lap there from the Red Bull, and it could be enough for pole, but we will have to see as Antonopoulos here rounding the final corner. Hajrisi retires on track, so he's clearly happy with his time. Hopefully that doesn't cause any issues for anyone else though, which I don't think it will, as George Norton across the line in the McLaren. P11 at the moment for him, which is tactical pole position, and I think he'll just do a cool down lap, then probably just go for one more. As everyone's just starting their final runs here pretty much, as we only have about a minute and a half of the session left, as Paul Hill comes to the line and prepares his final flyer alongside Dino and Majinski, who's invalidated on this run, but we've seen him do this in the past where he can't get a lap in for the whole session, then the final lap he normally just goes and gets it in like P4 or something, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him do that, as he has invalidated. So unfortunately I don't think he's going to have any time to set a valid lap this session, as a lot of cars coming towards the final sector now, so we'll start seeing a few lap times come in as everyone's preparing here for that final run. Further behind we have George, who's also probably just getting himself ready for a final run, and we have, I believe that's Dino, no it's Adam again, he's on a lap. So it's going to be Alfie Harvey, who had a purple sector 2 there, so if he can do well here as he runs a bit wide through Stowe, he's still kept it on the track and in track limits, so we'll see out the final sector here how he can do. As he currently sits P9 in the Red Bull, and he's going to improve and get P8, so up 1 place, but that's going to be his probably last run of the session. As Dino now, who is a 10th up, so this is going to be very, very close for pole. Is Dino going to be able to steal it here? As he raises the final corner, it's going to be a 26.8 for Dino, and he takes provisional pole here. Next across the line will be the Haas driver of Cifuentes, who's 2 tenths down, so we'll swap over to Owen. Owen here, his time currently, I believe, is on mediums, so let's see what he can do on the softs. As round the final corner, he comes to the line to 26.9 and puts him 3rd. So close there from Owen. Ryan Chapman improves, but not enough to go any higher. He says P4. Sorensen has invalidated, so he's going to be starting all the way down in P14 at the moment. As we have Adam Matusiak about a 10.5 up as well. So if he can find a bit more time in the final sector here, he might be able to potentially challenge the likes of Owen and Ryan, but He's going to need an absolute blinder. And up to the line is 27.3, which puts him 5th. And it's going to keep him ahead of Paul Hill as Adam Lapage, who's on a lap, 2.5 tenths up. So a better run this time from the Mercedes, who could get himself comfortably in the top 10 here. And it's going to be P6, so I think he'll be happy with that as Jordan Kent gets tactical pole position 11th, and that's going to be the end of the session. So, I don't know if that's Dino's like 3rd pole in a row there. As well, he's been very consistent with showing his pace in qualifying and also the races, so he's looking in a good spot. We have a full Croatian lockout on the front row though, with Hajrusi managing to get the Red Bull into 2nd place, so it's going to keep Red Bull's hopes of fighting with this Constructors' Championship alive. As Alfie not too far behind Adam either, so both in a very competitive range. It's going to keep the battle close here between them as Owen manages to get P3 on the grid. Ryan gets 4th, so he's going to be happy at his home race. Adam Matusiak and Adam Lapage, both Adams take out the 3rd row. Paul Hill 7th, Antonopoulos 8th, Alfie Harvey 9th, Cody Reed 10th, Jordan Kent in his first race here on tactical pole position in 11th, George Lawson 12th, Cifuentes 13th, Sorensen 14th, Rajpal 15th, and David Pear 16th at the final time setters as Rasmussen shows Stack David Hoy and Majinski weren't able to get a lap in. So, into the session we go, preparing ahead of the race. There's some clouds in the sky, so something interesting to keep a note of, as rain could completely shake up this order. I don't know if there's going to be rain. If a driver could let me know in the chat, that would be useful, but you never know. We'll see. As I'm interested to see what tyre choices we have outside of the top 10. As just loading on now, and we'll be able to see. Pardon me. As everyone outside the top 10 mainly going for softs here, as Mashinsky, Lasse, and Rajpal have gone for mediums, so they're going to have to try and keep themselves up as many places as possible, and with potential spins, contact, that could be quite not exactly easy for them to do, but they should be able to not lose too much time here. So, the predicted strategy from the game is a one-stop soft medium or soft hard. It's got a one-stop part correct, but it will be a soft medium that pretty much everyone will do here, whereas I think even if there's a safety car lap 1, you still want to go for mediums as well. They can do a whole race distance here. You won't be too comfortable at the end driving on them, but I think like 23 or 4 laps of mediums normally get you to about 60%, so it's definitely possible to do a whole race distance on them. As we just are waiting now for the drivers to complete the formation lap, as Paul Hill has been disqualified, and it looks like he's spun off the track somewhere, and he's been sent back to the grid, so he's going to have cold tyres for the start of this race, which I don't think he's going to be too pleased with, as it's never nice to have to start the race on cold tyres. As everyone round in Stoke, which is where the AI takes over from your car and just drives you to the grid. Interested to see how this race is going to go, as well. We have first the driver's put into the grid here, and is the game actually giving me a nice camera angle, unlike PC F3 yesterday? The answer is I don't know until they're in the grid slot. I mean, I can sort of see the lights, but the camera's having a bit of a madness, so not exactly helpful. So we're going to go from here. Alright, so on board with Owen for the lights, as gives me the best angle. Anyway, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights. And it's lights out here in Silverstone, as it's a good start from Owen in the Haas, and he's immediately up to second place and could potentially challenge Dino into turn 1. And he's going to try for a move up the inside, as these two are getting very close already. Cifuentes has already got a 3-second time penalty at turn 1, so that's probably going to be removed, as Owen takes the lead of this race, and Hajrusi and the Red Bull behind also trying to get past, as Dino losing places off the start here, but he's going to fight side by side with the Red Bull, as there's some contact behind there, as Hajrusi and Dino still going side by side. Someone's gone wide and has to rejoin the track, one of the Alfa Romeos there, as Dino retakes second place here in this race. And now it's going to be the run up to Cops here between Dino and Owen, as the gap isn't close enough for him to attempt any sort of crazy moves into Cops, as Owen's going to lead the race here. Adam looking at a move on the other Adam behind, as Dino goes slightly wide through Cops. Right behind Owen here, as we have both of them coming through Maggots and Beckett's there, as Owen still leads the race, and Dino closely behind. So we'll see here if he's going to be able to get a move up towards Stowe, as he's got the slipstream using his battery, and he's going to look around the outside here at Cops, as it's just going to be who can break later, as Owen keeps a position with a great line through the corner, as Hajrusi picks up a 3-second time penalty. Also looking for a move on Dino, but doesn't manage to get the move done, as he's just going to have to slide into third place for now. But Owen is taking the lead here, as further back we have some fighters. Antonopoulos has gone round, as Paul Hill here fighting with Cifuentes and George Norton. So these lot have already dropped 2.6 seconds off the front 6 here, who are all fighting at the moment. There's quite a few drivers who've also got penalties, and we also have a few drivers in the pits, being Elliot, Rajbolt, Lasse and Cody Reed in the Alfa Romeo. As further up, Dino's looking for a move here around the outside of Owen, as a bit of contact going into Brooklands, as Dino here getting very close to making a move on Owen. But he's still not able to at the moment, as now it's to run up to Cops again, as Dino's getting closer and closer, but I don't think he's going to try a move into Cops, or is he? As he's going to look on the outside line, putting a bit of pressure on Owen into Cops, and doesn't force his way into a move there, as that could have been quite dangerous. But Hajrusi here with a great line is going to take a look at a move on Dino into Maggots and Beckett's, and going through now, Dino is still manages to keep the place ahead of the Red Bull driver, as Paul Hill picks up a 3-second time penalty. But all the action here in this absolute train that's forming at the front, as Dino's looking for a move on Owen again into Stowe. Not quite close enough, but potentially on the exit if he can get a better run, which he doesn't, unfortunately. He's not going to be able to challenge into the final few corners here, but it's very close between these drivers, as Hajrusi there looks to run a bit wide, and he's under attack from Adam Matusiak in the Williams, as these guys at the front just absolutely going at it here, as Dino looking for a move on Owen Hidgelen. He's going to look around the outside, doesn't manage to get it on this occasion, but he could potentially here. But with DRS now on the Wellington straight, he's going to have a bit more of a chance, with the gap currently being at 3 tenths. We'll see if Dino's going to be able to get close enough into Brooklands, as he's going to fake the move to the inside, look at the outside, but he's just going to be able to defend that one for now. As further behind we have Cifuentes looking to make a move on Paul Hill, as these guys are in the quest to try and catch back up. And around the outside he's going to be able to get that move. And on the run up to Cops now, they're going to go side by side, and this could be a side by side moment into Cops, as Paul Hill's going to have the inside line, and through Cops they go, and Paul Hill manages to just about get himself ahead, as further up Dino right on the back of Owen here, as Cifuentes and Paul Hill still fighting into Maggots and Beckett, and that's going to allow George to have a look, but Cifuentes is going to keep that place just a bait. As at the front, Ditto here is going to manage to make a move into Stowe and takes the lead of this race again. Further behind we have George Norton, who's made a bit of a lunge there on Cifuentes and manages to get the move in the McLaren, getting his elbows out here, but Cifuentes isn't going to give this place up and breaks late and manages to keep the position in the Haas. Jordan Kent also having a look on George, but that move not quite on for him there as back to the front. This train all still sticking with each other at the moment as the main gap seems to be forming between the two Adams, as Owen here, he's now the one who's got the work to do, as he's going to have to try and get back up to Ditto. It's not going to be into Brooklands where he's going to be able to make a move, but if he can stay close through Cops and through Maggots and Beckett's, definitely could be a chance for him on the hanger straight here. As these front guys here giving it everything early on in the race and putting on a great battle for us to watch, as Owen here getting close to Ditto. And he's looking to stay close as they're going to go through Cops now. And Owen here with a better exit. He could have a look into Maggots and Beckett's even before the DRS, but I don't think he's going to go for this move. He's probably just going to be patient and wait for the DRS, as he's going to be very close to Ditto here, and you'd think he's going to get the move, as not choosing to use his battery, just hoping the DRS can pull him along enough. Now he uses his battery as he realised he wasn't getting too close, but into Stowe they go. Owen's going to look to the inside here on Ditto, and he manages to get the move done. And that's going to allow him to retake the lead of the race here, as Hajrusi and Matusiak are right behind as well. Matusiak just choosing to stay behind the Red Bull driver, but looks like he's got a lot of pace in the Williams, and could be these guys behind could definitely be a factor in this race as well, as Ditto here very close to the back of Owen. And as they're going to come onto the Wellington straight again, Ditto's going to be about 3 tenths behind, but I don't think he's going to be quite close enough to challenge for a move here, as he's going to keep himself close. He could potentially look for a move here into Brooklands, as he's going to have a think about it on the inside, but doesn't quite go for that move, but still very close there. As Ditto here staying very close to Owen, as up towards Cops they go again. These guys provided all the battling early on in this race, as Owen's slowing down tactically there, and he's played this smartly to try and let Ditto in front so he gets the DRS. George Norton picks up a 3-second time penalty, but that's going to allow Owen to have the DRS here, so he's going to use that to his advantage, and he's got a massive battery advantage by about 50% as well, using the DRS. But he's not actually too close here, so around the outside of Stowe he's going to have to try. There's just yellow flags behind for Jordan Kent in the Williams, and Owen's going to get the move here, as behind we have another spinner, and that's Ditto. Ditto's gone round. I didn't see that on the inside, but there was not contact between him and Owen, as Ditto's off and down into 6th place. So I think Ditto there lost it just on the inside of Stowe, and that's so unfortunate for the Mercedes, as he was challenging at the front here, but that's and they're going to allow Hajrusi to challenge with Owen for the lead of this race, as he's going to be next in line to try and fight us. That's so unfortunate for Ditto, as after he got pole position with a great lap and was having a great fight at the start of this race, unfortunately he's gone round there, as Adam Lapage here in the Mercedes has sort of slowly getting close to dropping off the back of these guys, as Alfie Harvey picks up 3 seconds. And unfortunately for him, if he can't keep himself up to pace, he could drop out of the DRS, but we'll just have to see about that, as these guys providing some outstanding racing here. As now it's the Red Bull's chance here of Hajrusi to see if he can challenge Owen, as he's going to get a good run out of Maggots and Beckett's actually using the battery and the DRS. He's going to have a great run, and into Stowe he's going to have the move well before the corner, and that's going to allow him to take the lead of this race, as behind Ryan Chapman and Adam Lapage having a fight, as Ryan has managed to get the move and get up to P4, which is where he qualified, I believe, unless he got 5th, I'm not too sure. As let's go lay the AlphaTauri to try chase after these guys in front. As Adam Matusiak on the exit of the final corner there picks up a penalty. So a lot of guys getting 3-second time penalties here as they're all just going at it and fighting quite heavily here. As further up, Owen here currently sitting about 6 steps behind, but he has a full battery, so I don't think he's going to be too concerned about the place he's sitting in at the moment. As behind Jordan Kent's pitted onto hards, which I didn't expect to see at all in this race, to be fair, but he has gone for them, so we'll have to see what his strategy is going to be like. So, go 3 cops. Owen runs a bit wide as he took a very tight line on the inside there. As he's going to keep it close through Maggots and Beckett's here and probably look to make a move on the Hangar Straight, which is where all the overtaking's happening on in this race so far. But I don't think he's quite close enough at the moment, as Hajrusi using all the battery he has to try and keep himself ahead for this lap, and he's going to be able to do so. As I'm interested to see who's going to pit, and Owen comes in right at the last second there, and he's triggering an undercut, which is interesting to see. As that's going to allow Hajrusi to take the lead of this race quite comfortably. As this gives me a quick breather to check something I need to in case it's important, which it's not. It's fine. Sorry about that. But anyway, at the moment, the gaps are starting to spread out a bit at the front, as we are currently in a good spot as George Norton here puts on AI mode and it's completely slided down into the corner. That's going to allow David Perra to fight him, and potentially Alfie Harvey as well, as Alfie here not having the best of starts, but he's managed to bring it back to 10th place for now. As David Perra here looking to make a move on the McLaren, and into Brooklands he's going to make the move, and that promotes him up into 8th place after being near the back in qualifying. He's having a very strong start to this race in the Aston Martin, but he's got a bit of a gap to catch up to now, as Alfie Harvey's going to look for a move here up towards Cops on George Lawton. These two are going to go side by side, as the Red Bull's going to just have to brake as George tries hanging it around the outside. He's going to keep the move there. I think he realised he went off track, so I think he's just given the place back. Or he could be doing it tactically for DRS again, but these two having a fight at the moment, as George here now going to take a look up towards Stowe, and he's going to get that move very early here, as at the front Hajrusi's into the pit, so pits from the lead of the race here, as Dino's also pitted as well in the Mercedes, and Alfie pits, so he's going to try and undercut on George, but also gets a 5-second penalty for speeding into the pit, so I don't think he's going to be too happy with that, as that's the main battle that there was out on track at the moment, and now the gaps are slowly going to just iron themselves out here and extend themselves, as at the moment the action has slowed down a little bit, as Owen here coming out of the pits is ahead of Hajrusi, which is interesting to see. So the undercut has worked, and he retakes the lead of this race, and if he can catch up to the back of Adam in front, then he's going to have the DRS to be able to keep himself in front, as well as Dino's about 5 seconds behind these guys, as we have a spinner at the back, and that's Jordan Kent on the hard tyres. As George here slowly closing in, back to David Perra, who managed to pull away while he was fighting with Alfie Harvey, but he's not going to be too close, as David Perra does run a bit wide actually. So here George could definitely be on the attack, and he's going to have a look towards Stowe, as David made a mistake, and he's going to go up the inside as Adam Matusiak pits out front. Same with Ryan Chapman, so he's just going to leave Adam Lapidge out on track, and he's going to be the last one out of the front runners to pit to have the tyre advantage at the end with Ware. So that could come in importance, especially if there's a safety car. Those extra few percent, especially if no one's going to pit, as everyone's pretty much pitted for mediums here. As I'm not surprised that that's happened. As Adam Shostak here trying to defend from Owen and Hajrusi. As if Owen could get a move, it's definitely going to give a warning sign to the Red Bull, as Adam here is going to just defend from Owen for now, as these guys all very close here. And you'll think Owen's going to definitely get the move into Brooklands. But what about the Red Bull? Is he going to be able to? Is he's going to look for a move? Cuts back and gets the inside line, and he's managed to make that move nicely, as Dino also making a move on Ryan Chapman. But Ryan's not going to stop this fight, as this is for position, as both of them have pitted. As the fight between Owen and Hajrusi is now going to continue, as further behind David Perry looking to re-overtake George here in the McLaren, and he's going to get this move up towards Stowe, down the hanger straight, and just retakes fourth. Cifuentes pits, and David Perry there almost faking George, or trying to fake George into pitting, but George was pretty much had his sights set on staying out, so didn't face him too much, as Ryan here looking for a move on the inside of Dino, and these guys are going to bang wheels a bit, but it's a very close racing between them, as Ryan here still goes side by side, and there's been a bit of contact, but he's managed to keep the car, and he's not going to lose too much from that. Not much space into the final corners there, where it can be quite difficult to make a move. Definitely not the sort of place you want to overtake, as Hajrusi there overtaking before DRS, and he's also going to get the DRS as well, so he's timed that to perfection. And that's going to give him P6 in this race, or what is currently known as the provisional race lead. As Owen wasn't close enough into Brooklands, as he didn't have the DRS to fight this one back, as these guys out front seem to be the main two fighting for this lead. Now George Lawton picks up a penalty currently in his fight with David Power, as Owen here getting very close through cops, and he's made contact with the back of the Red Bull, and he's going to go spinning round there, and that's going to give Hajrusi a lead in this race, as Owen got a bit too close to the back of the Red Bull, and that's sent him spinning all the way back. As further up, George Lawton's still looking to fight with David Power here, as they're both going to go into the pits. Same with Paul Hill. George almost pushing David into the pits there, as the only driver not to pit is Adam Lapage there. As more drivers have picked up penalties, and almost becoming a common theme in this race, is we have a bit of a train back here with Elliot Lessay and Alfie. As I'm interested to see where Paul Hill will come out, as he was quite far behind, and having gone long, he's going to be behind Cifuentes, and also behind Owen here, as Owen's come back on track in 8th at the moment, as Ryan and Dino still close and still fighting, as George has come out down in 15th place behind Alfie Harvey, who he was fighting. Well, there's a bit of a battle going on back here between these guys of Lasso, David, Elliot, Alfie and George. So we'll see if David here looking to make a move on the Ferrari, and around the outside he's going to go and get that move. So these guys behind here are also going to need to do it, as well, Lasse's tyres are probably going to be struggling soon, as he has been on those softs near the start of the race, as he picks up a 3-second time penalty for just staying off track there, whereas David Power has a bit of a moment through cops, and that's going to allow Lasse to fight back, as he's going to get that move and take back 11th place for now, as further up Ryan Chapman was close to Dino, but didn't manage to get the move, as David Power is going to look for a move back on Lasse, has quite a big advantage on the battery, and he gets the move done, so and that's going to be him up to 11th, as David Hoy pits in front, as these guys here having a great fight over what currently will be P10, as all fighting over 1 point, but we have a few guys still to pit, this definitely could change from the fight for P10, but the only two guys I believe now who need to pit in front are Adam and Majinski. As Majinski will probably come out reasonably close to these guys in front, as he, on the alternate strategy, has done well. Is Lasse here? He's going to look for a move on David Perry into Brooklands, and David's going to defend this one on the inside, and I think he's just about going to keep the position there, as still nearly going side by side on the run through Woodcut, but Lasse's just going to stay behind for Cops here, as again, he's got a better run than David Peller, and he's very close to the back of the Aston Martin, but not quite close enough to make a move. He's in the DRS here. He's going to get close, and he's gaining again, and he's going to look to the outside at Stowe. And on the outside here, is he going to be able to get the move? And he is. That's a great move there from the Ferrari driver, as David Power is going to look to stay close and fight this one back, as these guys bringing us loads of action here, as Paul Hill's now caught up to Owen, who seems to be struggling here as he's lost a lot of time to Cifuentes. So I'm trying to check if he's got any damage actually in the Haas. It's behind George, having a little look at Elliott here, and up the inside he's going to try. And down the Wellington straight, they're going to have a fight, and there's been a bit of contact there, and George is reined into the barrier. But I don't think he's going to have any damage other than potentially some rear wing damage there, as he's just retiring on track. So potentially he did pick up some rear wing damage, and he's not going to be wanting to race with that. So unfortunately that's going to be him retiring from this race, as Adam has finally pit at the front, and actually there's a fight between Hajrusi and Majinski, as the Red Bull retakes the lead of this race as Adam is in the pits. So Adam potentially extending long, see if he could get a safety car, but wasn't to be for him in this race, as Hajrusi here just consistently beating his best times, and he's looking in a very good spot, as I'm interested to see where Adam's going to come out. I think it's going to be just behind Cifuentes here. I think he'll be ahead of Paul Hill. Has just been in contact with Owen, I think, at the final corner, and Owen's 8 in the middle of the track, and that is a safety car. So on lap 15 here, a safety car has been brought out in this race. And now that changes a lot, as I'm trying to get an angle where I can see my screen without being blinded by the sun. As for some reason here, Alfie Harvey slowing down loads, and a lot of confusion out on track, as I think David Power, driving AI mode, has completely glitched and blocked everyone, more than likely. So there's also some overtaking going on here between Adam and Paul. So some the weird things happening in the safety car here, shall we say. So I'm interested to see who's going to pit here. As well, Majinski's going to be very happy, as he gets essentially a free pit stop under the safety car without losing too much, and gets to put on the soft tyres and sort of just cruise his way to the end, as Hajrusi's also into the pit lane. And pretty much you'd think most people might respond to that by staying out, as Ryan has faked Dino into the pits there, unless Dino was definitely committed to pitting. But if that's what he was trying to do, it's worked, as on track position, Adam Matusiak is now going to lead this race, as Ryan will be second, Cifuentes third. Majinski could even be coming out in as high as 6th here, as Adam Lapage literally just pitted for those mediums, so well, he's not going to pit again and take the track position in 4th. As Hajrusi is going to emerge in 5th, with Majinski 6th. Dino's going to be 7th, Paul Hill, actually no they're not, as David Perez, after just pitting onto the mediums, he's going to come out just behind Dino, so Paul Hill's going to be 9th there. Cody will be 10th, As Alfie serving 5 seconds for God knows what. I think he sped into the pit lane the first time, so that's going to drop him down a bit, but I think it's going to affect his position too much. He'll probably still be 14th as Lasse here. He's going to be 11th after pitting, and well, he pitted, or was committed to pitting anyway on the like as the safety car was coming out. So very good time in there for the Ferrari. As the order's completely changed there, and yeah. And to Leftmond in the chat who says, are Kenton Hill from PC F3? Yes, they are. They have been given an opportunity to race here as their performances in PC F3 have been very good. And they are filling in for reserve slots that weren't filled. As everyone in the chat's answering. So, yeah. Now with this safety car, I'd like to hear your thoughts on who you think's going to win this race now. As this completely changes everything essentially. And with Majinski and Dillon having penalties, if they make the most of their soft tyres, they could definitely do very well here. As well, the guys on front will be naturally slower on mediums, and well, as much as Adam's tyres may come into play, the guys at the front have already done some laps on those mediums, and well, they will be looking to defend here. As I think we're more than likely going to have quite a big train at the front here. I'd say at least of 7 cars, but yeah. Okay, so some random predictions in the chat. As someone says they're going to win, even though they're not in the race. Nathan thinks George is going to win, even though he's retired from this race. Then we've got an actual prediction of David Peller to win this race. We've got this P8. He's also on the older medium tyres, so a bit of a random shout at this stage, but yeah, I don't know how serious that prediction is, obviously. But yeah, anyway, 18 drivers left. Well, some very interesting racing at the start. Some great battles so far. Well, time to see how this is going to continue as well. The safety car's going to be coming in probably at the end of lap 18, as I can't be arsed because safety cars are boring and there's nothing to talk about. Anyways, so we have 6 guys who stayed there on medium tyres, and the rest of them have either pitted for knee softs or had literally just pitted, so decided to stay out. As Daryl thinks that Adam is going to win this one, and with the fresh medium tyres, if he can get ahead of the guys on the mediums and take advantage of that and try and keep a gap before the guys on softs catch to him, then he definitely could win this. He just needs the softs to not be as effective as well. He thinks as if Cifuentes has hit into Ryan Chapman there and has dropped down into 5th. So I'm confused at what's happened there, as he picks up a 5-second penalty. And that actually helps Adam out, except for the fact that he has got Hajrusi right behind him now. I think he would have rather had just taken that place and had Cifuentes behind him still, but nevertheless that's going to help both of those two out, as Majinski and Dino doing a very clean race so far. No penalties, and that could really benefit them here. So everyone's now caught up, and well, we just got to wait a whole lap for the safety car to decide it's going to come in. So Mercedes are going to be happy with this race, as this is going to just extend their run in the constructors, as Red Bull are going to drop even further down here. as Alfie's not having the best of his races, as at the start I saw he dropped down to 15th at one point, so clearly struggled somewhere off the start of the races. Well, he's now 14th, but anyway, just waiting for the safety car to announce it's going to go in, which it should do after Maggots and Beckett's, and well, we shall see how this restart's going to go. If it's going to end up being like the start of the race, which I hope it is, because that was unreal, all the fighting and all the action we had there. As Matusiak here, just going to slow the grid down. Interested to see when he's actually going to restart this race, as it's he's got quite a few options here. I think he'll restart through Stowe, especially with the line he's taking. As he, on the exit of Stowe there, just slows everyone down and actually then goes through the final sector, and he's gone by almost a second to Ryan immediately, as Cifuentes here, right on the back of Hajrusi. As Dino also on the back of Majinski here, getting very close, so there could be some moves made here off the restart, as Adam's dropped 1.1 seconds back, and Hajrusi's going to dive it up his inside, as Adam pulls out the alt lag switch and keeps the position by teleporting back in front of him, so Hajrusi's probably absolutely confused right now of like what's going on with Adam, but good old Adam with his connection. But anyway, Hajrusi here has a little look to the outside. Adam goes very late and defensive though into the corner, as Dino has made a move on Majinski and they're looking around the outside of Cifuentes here. As Adam's just holding this whole train up, potentially tactically though, as this could help his teammate, as Dino's going to look for a move into Cops here, so here we go. This could end in tears, as Dino's going to go right in the outside, and there's been contact with Cifuentes, who's reined it into the barriers there. And an incident at Cops, which, you know, not what you want to see here as well. You know what happens with incidents at Cops is behind Paul Hill here, having a look at David Peller. And he's very close, as David Peller's almost forced into looking for a move on Majinski, but doesn't quite go for it, as Paul's got a great run here. And he's now going to challenge David Peller into the final few guys. Adam picks up a 3-second time penalty. I don't know how many he's got now. I think that's 3. There's this yellow flags as one of the Ferraris has gone round of Lasse. And there's also been contact there, I think, as David Peller runs slightly off track. Dino picks up 3 seconds as well. And Hajrusi's gone round somewhere, and he's out the race at turn 1. So I completely missed that as I was watching a fight between those guys, but the Red Bull driver who's led so much of this race is now gone, and Dino's also been let through by his teammate, and he's now on the charge. So some tactical play here from Red Bull, as, oh not Red Bull, Mercedes, oh god that's the complete wrong team, as Alfie Harvey here, a bit of a dive it looked like on Elliott, but gets the move and is in 9th at the moment, so doing well off this restart, as he was 14th and now up to 9th. He's doing a great job in the Red Bull to try and get damage limitation, especially his teammates, when he's gone all the way to Narnia there through Cops. He's now looking at the back of David Peller and Cody Reed, as I just watching the gap further on in this fight. Paul Hill here looking to make a move on Majinski again, as there's yellow flags, and that's one of the Ferraris of Lasse, who had a bit of a moment before and then caught back up, and that's going to drop him behind again, as Elliott's out of the race at Stowe there, and loads of incidents happening here as Alfie Harvey now looking for a move on David Peller, and I think he barely got that before the safety car came out. And yeah, it looks like he's going to keep the position, so 5 laps to go and we have a safety car. Well, this is going to be fun. Right, so Lasse has retired in the pits, as that brings our total up to 5 there. As this is looking very, very interesting. As well, this is going to bring Dino back up to Matusiak and Ryan. And we're pretty much within touching distance here as these two. I think at this point you just don't pit. Regardless of where you are, I don't think we're going to see anyone pit. I mean, maybe Adam in the Mercedes could try something, because he does have a bit of a gap to Majinski in the safety car. So if he wants to risk it for the soft tyres, but I don't think it's worth it. As he'll lose out on the positions, especially with Silverstone being... Well, the pit lane's a bit ridiculous. It takes about 10 minutes to get down it. You could probably a 3-course meal in the time it takes for you to do the Silverstone pit lane, but regardless of that, yeah, no one's pitting here. Actually, David Perry is. Oh, hello, and his teammate. Oh, well, David Toy's going to get held up a bit here, and that's not ideal for him. So if you excuse me a second. Alright, so sorry about that. Anyways, it's looking like the safety car is not going to be in at the end of this lap, as we're still waiting for Jordan Kent, who, well, he's quite far behind at the moment, so he's going to need to get a move on. There's going to be about 3 or 4 laps left here. And, well, could be quite interested as... Well, Majinski actually doesn't have penalties, I've just noticed, in the McLaren. So, he's probably loving life right now. Same with Adam Shostak as well. Just keep it on track and you're going to gain about 4 or 5 positions from this anyway as well. Yeah. A lot of drivers with penalties, and also everyone 10th and below has fresh tyres, so I think they've just gone for the fact that, well, they might as well just go for it and try with the fresh tyres, see if they can do something here. Darrell asking to show penalties. I'm not going to show penalties. I'm going to keep it a secret till the end of the races. I'm interested to see what will happen. I can't really remember who's got penalties, but I don't like to spoil the race results for me or anyone else watching. I like to keep it, you know, just interesting, so you don't really know who's going to win till the last second. Makes the action even more entertaining to watch here, as I think we're going to have one more lap here, potentially one more after this, depending on how long it takes Jordan to catch up. And then we will get restarted for, well, a 3-lap sprint. It seems we're going to get to the end of the race. As well, my voice just completely died. Nice. Well, it seems like a lot of the card is just like coming out near the end here, as everyone just getting more and more aggressive in the battles, trying to get the positions, and well, it's left a few drivers on the wrong kind of incidents, which I don't think they're going to be too pleased with. But that's all for the stewards to decide after the race, and well, penalties will be applied where necessary, so yeah. I'm interested to see now, as Jordan has nearly caught up, so we are going to get restarted at the end of this lap. And interested to see this time what Matusiak will do, as he pulled an absolutely brilliant restart last time, and I wonder if he has another trick up his sleeve. As if he does, then, well, I think he's definitely going to use it now, as, well, the safety car is now in this lap, as well as expecting it to be, and absolutely flies off the hangar straight here. So, 3 laps to go, 3 laps of racing. Could be carnage, could see some great racing here. We probably will do. Could be literally anything. I think we're going to have 1 lap of DRS right at the end here, as Adam Matusiak has gone, but he hasn't caught Ryan too much this time, as Ryan does have a bit of a moment there, and there's Dino on his inside straight away off this restart. This fight could go straight away, as Ryan here has got Dino all over the back of him, and Dino here gets a great run through turn 1, and he's going to look onto the back of Ryan here. He's going to send a move up the inside, and he's going to take 2nd place here, as Ryan's going to look to fight it back if he can. And he is going to actually keep the position, as he almost wrestles Dino off track there completely. As I don't think Dino's going to be too happy with that one, as at the front Matusiak's got a 1.1 second gap already. But back to this fight, the Mercedes are getting very close to the back of Ryan, as Dino here just really looking to try and get past the AlphaTauri's. He's going to use all of his battery that he's got saved up here in the slipstream of the AlphaTauri. He's going to defend the inside into Cops, moves back to the racing line though for the corner, as Dino almost pushes him through there and almost runs straight into the back of him. As into Maggots and Beckett, they go in there. Ryan moves across in front of Dino there, and Dino's literally almost pushing him through here, as onto the hangar straight now. Ryan pretty much boxed in here by Dino, and just a little bit of contact between them, and Ryan's off into the wall, and that's him out the race. So Ryan randomly moving across there, and it's just moved across into Dino's tyre, and that's going to send him out of the race here. As I'm sure on his end, he's going to be absolutely fuming, thinking about that, as Dino's essentially been released to go chase after Matusiak for the lead of this race. But they've still got to consider the fact that Majinski here is doing a great job at keeping within a reasonable range, and could still win this race on the penalties game. But who's going to win it on track? As they almost might be deploying Adam tactically here to try and defend us. I know Adam does have quite a lot of penalties, but this could just get Dino the win if he can manage to catch up to Matusiak. But Matusiak actually has been using a lot of his battery here, and they're actually about even, which I didn't expect, but I could definitely play as a benefit to Dino, as he's now just 4 tenths behind and getting closer and closer up towards Cops, as he's going to be right on the back of the Williams here. And he's going to get right up to the back and up towards Maggots and Beckett. Is he going to look to make a move? I don't think so. He's just going to do the same as happened with Ryan and wait to the hangar straight. And now with the slipstream, with the battery he has a little bit of a deficit of battery to the Williams. Adam's just trying to cover off the move in any way possible, but into slow. Dino's going to go round the outside of the Williams and gets the move done and retakes the lead of this race. Now it's all about if he can get the gap to Majinski, whether he can win this, as Paul Hill's going to look for a move round the outside of Majinski. Has to go off track though in the process, and that's going to help Majinski, as that's going to give him a gap as Jordan Kent's retired at Stowe. As Dino sets the fastest lap of this race, so he's going to get a point for that if he keeps it. As Majinski here, I'm trying to calculate the gap in off the top of my head, but he's not close enough at the moment, as Alfie Harvey picks up a penalty. But further behind we have the Alfa Romeos very close here. Cody, who has a little bit of a moment, could leave him vulnerable here to Alfie in the Red Bull. He's going to use the battery he has and look for a move into Brooklands, as it's going to be close between the two of them, as Alfie's going to get very close but not quite make a move there, as he's all over the back of the Alfa Romeo driver. And on the exit, through Woodcut and then up towards Cops they go, as Greg here and the Alpines actually getting close as well. As these guys battling right towards the end here as Alfie's just gone flying off the track again. I've seen him do that multiple times here through cops. And if he's not getting for a warning free, if someone just reports it, seeing him do it about 5 or 6 times, there's Rashford here going to go for a very nice move up the inside potentially. Cifuentes is also side by side with Adam Shostak behind. As there's been a move made by Rashford. As his yellow flags, I thought that was Mashinsky then. No, that's just one of the Aston Martins at the back, but Paul Hill takes 4th place. And that's potentially going to slow down Mashinsky, but I don't think he was close enough anyway. The gap's about 3.5 seconds as Ditto reigns through the line to win it on track. Matusiak gets 2nd. Adam Lapich 3rd, but Mashinsky's going to miss it by 9/10. But Adam, what? He just gave Adam Lapich the win, but he finished 4th. I don't think that's correct on penalties, but I'm not sure. Paul Hill 5th. Cody Reed gets 6th. Cifuentes 7th. Alfie Harvey gets 8th. Adam Shostak 9th. Rashford 10th and David Hoy finishes 11th. Wow, that was a very, very chaotic race. As the game's driver of the day is Majinski, and I mean, I can't disagree to be fair. It's from last on the grid, I'm pretty sure. He brings it home and gets 2nd. Only 9/10 off the lead, so he's almost done a last to first here at Britain, and considering he was invalidating every single one of his laps, for him to then go and not get a penalty all race, that is very impressive. As this race director is going to be great. Someone can slow it down and send it if they want. Yes, there we go, we got everything as... Oh my, I've just seen how many Alfie Harvey's got. He's got like 5 or 6 warnings there. I assume half of those were at cops. But anyways, so... that is going to conclude this race. Dino gets the win. Majinski 2nd and Matusiak 3rd. Adam finishes 4th, but I don't think that's correct. It might be correct, I'm not sure. But I think he's probably going to drop day after penalties get fixed as... yeah, I'm 99% sure he didn't finish 4th, but yeah. Anyways, that has been a very interesting race. And changes stuff significantly. So anyways, we have PC F1 and PSF1 tomorrow, and we also have PSF3 and PSF2 later today, so you can watch them. And next week we will be back here at the same time, where you'll be able to watch the action from Bahrain now, as the calendar was changed. So we do have Bahrain on the calendar for the next round, where I'm sure there'll be plenty of action there, as normally quite an interesting track Bahrain is. But I don't know how it's going to mash up against today, as that was, yeah, unbelievable. So, thank you all for watching this race, and we will hope to see you back at the same time next week, where hopefully I'll be joined by Mitch as well. And we will have